Good evening, everybody. All right. Kind of have a rainy evening here in Pittsburgh tonight. All right. What we've been kind of looking for the last few weeks is whether they were going to break through this resistance level. And today they did. And that was kind of evident in the last few days of trading where they couldn't take it back below the T line. When they did, they brought it right back up, did a slow curve, which made it very simple. After Friday's trading closing right about at the resistance level, if it if it opened positive today, you wanted to be buying immediately, which is what we were doing. This was evident both in the Dow, in the transportation index, even more more plain to see in the transportation index with it breaking out through this level, and the S&P 500. Oops, make this big enough, where it finally closed just above the recent highs. So that, with kind of a doji gap up. So the weak sister of all these was the NASDAQ. But the NASDAQ did a left-right combo on Friday and today gapped up through the T-line and through this downtrending channel. So more than likely we're going to have at least, oops, getting this stuff again, aren't we? Let's close it out. All right. So more than likely, we're going to have at least a couple more days to the upside before any consolidation, just going up to the 50. Okay, nothing outside that's really affecting the markets. The oil prices look like they're in a wedge, so they're going to be stuck between 104 and 98 or 99 here for a while. Gold right now is stuck in a sideways mode. Nothing going on there that would be pushing prices around. And interest rates. Bond prices flat with a slow curve to the upside, meaning bond prices or yields aren't going anywhere. The dollar, slow downtrend. Let's see if I can see this more clearly. It's still in a slow downtrend, which is good for the U.S. economy. Remember, the cheaper the U.S. dollar is, the more people from overseas will be buying. So but this isn't anything that would be considered extravagant where everybody's going to rush in and buy U.S. goods, but at least heading in a slow right direction. Nothing else out there. I think wheat could be backing off a little bit, but it's still in this uptrend. The only one that really looks compelling to trade tomorrow is cotton, which would be, if it opens lower tomorrow, we want to be shorting it because it's failed to get above the T-line and it's failed here at the 50. The cheaper dollar means you pay more for goods being shipped in, but it also more likely that other countries will be paying or buying U.S. products because it's cheaper. So, the only time it's going to mean something as far as cheaper dollar means you're paying more for stuff is if you're going overseas. But it doesn't mean that much here in the U.S. Okay. Can't think of anything else. Silver, obviously, in the same mode as gold. And cocoa. Cocoa's still in a steady downtrend. And sugar, just kind of moving sideways. Nothing to trade there. The euro getting whacked. That's a big sell-off in the euro. This one you stay short. And Japanese yen, That one's just about as sideways. So there's nothing exciting out in any of the commodity markets right now that would really want to go jump on at this point. Okay. We recommended EVC today because of this type of signal. Whenever you see that big reversal, and it did a piercing belt hold type signal, that tells you there was a change of investor sentiment, especially when that occurs at this part of a trend. So this one was bought this morning, did all right. We also recommended CPE because if it opened positive, we basically had a flutter kicker kicking off the T-line and the 20, meaning this uptrending channel is still in progress. And the other one was reiterating a buy on ITMN. This one you still get ready to buy. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Notice what it did today, a doji, right here at the breakout level on a J-hook pattern. Makes this very simple. If this opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately because your J-hook pattern will be working, number one. And number two, they'll be breaking out through this level. Means you probably get a lot more buyers stepping in. Can somebody help Mark get his screen to the right size? And okay, again, back to EVC. Because of that big belt hold type signal, it tells you that they wiped out a lot of sellers down here, so there's no sellers in the way. And yeah, Mark, up on the very top of your gray area, there should be some little boxes, one with the arrows pointing in. Click on that and see if that doesn't bring everything back into your screen. What is this symbol? T. There's another big belt hold signal that performed today. This one I still wouldn't be afraid to be buying. This is PFMT. Because if they can break out through this level, they're going to obviously go to the 200. If they break through the 200, you got a lot of running room. And so anyways, I think we had discussed KNDI, Kendai, that it was right down here on the base. That if it had opened positive, you wanted to be buying immediately. And today, apparently, their earnings were good. So not only it was a good, strong signal, your best friend, but it performed very well. At this point, you can still be a buyer with the next prospect being up here at the 50-day moving average. So this one you want to be still buying. That's still a good-looking chart. And the same type of chart is setting up in ALLT. Notice your hammer, doji, gap up. Probably going to run into congestion area here, but notice it's kind of doing a double bottom. Another one that can be bought. And CONN. This one looks like a good chart that could bring you back up to the top of the trend channel, which almost looks like it would coincide with the 200-day moving average, which would also coincide with filling the gap over here. Stochastic's coming back up. So if we know that our upside potential is right here in about the 55 area, did some spreads, and since this one would be a longer-term hold, meaning a few weeks, you might want to look at this combination. You could buy the June 45 calls and sell the June 55 calls. That would be a $2.20 net, that if it went to 55, which was a good fur piece, your $2.20 would go to $10. Then a little bit more speculative is you buy the 50 and sell the 55s for 72 cents. And if that, again, goes to $55, that 72 cents now turns into $5, or about a little over 7-to-1 return. So that's pretty far away. So to modify that, if you buy the June 45s and sell the 50s, that would mean you're going to be paying $1.50. That even if it only got to 50 for some reason over the next 3 weeks, your $1.50 would turn into $5, which would pay for your 45.50 price, and would also pay for your 50.55. So worst case scenario is if it only moved up to 50, which doesn't look like it would have too much problem doing, especially even getting up, filling the gap, that if it just went to 50, you'd still be making enough to pay for the other two. And then if it went up to this level, you'd be making some big bucks. So just kind of a safe, a fail-safe type setup to where you're buying one spread, that if that spread works, you've paid for the two more speculative spreads. And if this works like it should on the chart, that whole trade would be a very strong return. Anyways, that's we'll work out the numbers more for the people in the option trading room first thing in the morning. All right, what else we got? We got WWAV, which we've recommended a couple days ago, and it's still working off of this kicker-type signal. Let's make this big enough where we can see it. And if this opens positive, after they've gapped it up, this opens positive, they break out through this level. Oh, I'm going to make this smaller again. Essentially, you got the same potential right here on this wave as you will over on this wave. The Junes should be expiring. I was doing the monthly Junes. I didn't do anything on the weeklies only because I've got to calculate where that price could move within a week time frame, and I didn't have time to do that. Yeah, okay. So WWAV got calls on this one also, but this one is still a good either call or stock move, because if it moves the same magnitude as this, which is about 7 points, this should take you up into about the $35 area. And it could do that very quickly. I mean, when they start gapping it up, and this market seems to have some new life into it, again, breaking out through this resistance level, there could be some heavy buying with new enthusiasm in this market. Let's see, WDMD. Another one that's kind of doing the pullback. This was more of a Morningstar signal, but you got a Morningstar signal right here that closed right on the T-line and the 50. Makes this very simple. If they open this positive, got at least a potential move of this magnitude right here. And NMBL. This is a nice looking chart. Whenever you have these dojis in the oversold area and they gap it up, in this case they've closed it right smack dab on the T-line, they could run this all the way back up to the 50-day moving average. Yes. Thank you, Neil. That was on CONN, correct. So NMLB, you want to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. Again, with the doji gap up, your best friend setup. Corning also had a good strong chart today. Coming out of the slow curve, breaking out of this wedge. This one you can be buying on the basis that it could have another good strong price move. So this one you can be buying on strength. AAL. There's that big fry pan bottom. Let's get this where we can see it. Positive open here. Could get you into another wave. Let's make this small enough to see what the results would be. Wave 1, fry pan bottom wave 2. Wave 3 could be the same magnitude as this, 25 to 40, 3750 to what would be 5250. And that one was AAL. Rite Aid, another good-looking chart. Taking it up, consolidating, taking it up, consolidating. Right to the T-line with a gap up. This one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying, anticipating that you're at least in this strong uptrending channel. You stay long on this until you see a sell signal. SANM, there's your J-hook pattern setup. Anytime you see this strong, enthusiastic move, and then they consolidate it, after the consolidation, whatever causes strong enthusiasm usually is coming right back in and creating the same magnitude move on wave 3. So this one, going from essentially the, I can figure this out, if I can see well enough, 1650 to 22, that should take you up into about the $27, $28 range. And CXDC, another J-hook pattern, and notice where it came from. Bullish engulfing, back up through the T-line, now a strong move through this level. There's your fry pan bottom, there's your J-hook. This is what you call the classic, or what I call the classic. But the fry pan bottom breakout causes a very strong price move. What's the prerequisite for a J-hook pattern? A very strong price move. They consolidate it, and they'll take it right back up. That's just a very high probability trade setup. Excuse me. Kind of another fry pan bottom, broke out through the 50 today. This one you want to be buying with the anticipation they can take this back up to the recent highs. And Halo, I guess Halo announced earnings after hours. Does anybody know where Halo is trading right now? I think it was up substantially, somewhere up in this range. 862. All right, so that puts it right up here. That's probably still a buy. If it opens positive and starts trading positive. Because if it opens positive and starts trading positive, essentially you have an island reversal down here at the bottom. That's going to create a strong uptrend. MDVN. Oh, make this big enough so we can see it. Notice what happened today. Had a kicker type signal on Friday. Took you up through the 50. Today it's got a doji, which makes this very simple. If they open this positive, the fry pan bottom, breakout area is in progress, they should be able to bring it all the way back up to where they could fill the gap up here. And SWKS, another slow curve, just in the process of breaking out. Where's the likely target? If you drew a line right up through the existing trend, probably looking at for it to come up here in about the $46 area. And then highly probable that it would be a 45 degree off of there. That's not the one we wanted. We wanted the net. Oh, Shazam. Okay. It does this every time. Okay, let's try another one just to see. Oops, there it is. Okay, there's your Morningstar signal, little scoop type pattern. Remember, the bigger the signal, the more probability there is that there's been a change of investor sentiment. Morningstar type signal, breaking out through this downward trend channel. I'd be a buyer of this, especially if it opened positive and started trading through the 50. Gore, somewhat the same thing. Downtrending channel, except a kicker signal that took it out of here. This is about a $2.20 stock. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this because you've got that kicker signal, breaking the downward trend channel, and cradle type pattern, telling us that there's a good possibility they're going to take this right back up into the $3 area, giving you about a 40% return. TSEM, there's that gap up. Makes this very simple. If they open this positive, you can see the downtrending channel's been broken. Take this positive, they're in wave 3. Want to be a buyer. Yes, Neil, that's pretty much how I use kind of estimate what was. Remember, the Japanese race traders always say, let the market tell you what the market is doing. So usually wave 1 and wave 3 are usually going to be equivalent in magnitude of move and usually in the same time frame. VHS, there's that inverted hammer Morningstar signal. This one you can be buying also on positive trading with the expectation of coming up here to test this high again. Anytime you see that inverted hammer, bullish confirmation, the probabilities are extremely strong. Again, there's nothing scientific about this other than my observations over the last 30 years. You're probably at 95% probability or greater that you're going to be in an uptrend from there. Here's another slow curve on NLNX. Nice little breakout. And SSP, let's see if this is working. Nope. S.SSP. I wanted to, because notice what happened coming out of this fry pan bottom. Just as it was starting to break out, really whipped it. And this is not unusual to see. A lot of whipsaw right at the breakout area. So if you see something and you get out because it failed, don't be afraid to get right back in, because this is not unusual. When the enthusiasm builds up on the breakout, sometimes you get this whipsaw action before they really take it off strong. SLCA, been holding on to this one because this is kind of your steady eddy. Ever since the gap up through the T-line, this one you could pretty much hold all the way up. Took some profits here, bought it back here, still in a nice steady uptrend. And those are the type that you'd like to get a few of those in your portfolio, because if you get 2 or 3 steady eddies in your portfolio and you don't have to do anything until you see a sell signal and a close below the T-line, that means you can spend more time and energy, mental energy on the others and fine-tune those more. So if you've got 10 positions on and you got 3 that are steady eddies, now you only have to concentrate on the 7 that need more attention. Another left-right combo with bullish confirmation on INFI. Next likely target is the 50-day moving average. Now, when I say the next likely target, 2 things you have to consider. How far away is it? And this one is probably about a 17% move. And how fast could it get there? So the reason that we want to see some speed on how fast they can get there is because we don't know how long this might be in an uptrend before it backs off a little bit. But obviously, the faster we can see something get to a target, the less it might be influenced by what the general market is doing. GEVA. There's that little scoop-type Morningstar signal. And where did it occur? Right here at the 50. This one you want to be buying on positive trading. This is a case, too, where they brought it right smack dab to the 50, pulled it back, couldn't really get away from the T-line and or the 20, now brought it back up through the 50. That tells us we're in our next wave to the upside. That's GEVA. And PXLW, When they start gapping up, this is where they're trying to get back in. There's the doji right on the 200-day moving average, gap up through the T-line, close above the 50, broken this downward trend channel. There's lots of room for it to fly right back up into this area. So, again, the gap ups are your message that you want to know. A wedge is when you can draw a line down through the tops and pretty much draw a line through the bottoms. So it's kind of acting like a wedge where everything's kind of coming back together. I'll try to find something better looking. There's the kicker signal. This is on NES. Kicker signal breaking this downward trend channel. Obvious target, the 200-day moving average. In IMPV, the reason I have a star next to this one is, let's make this big enough where we can see it. First of all, we've got a morning star signal that tells us they might be bottoming it out. If they could close this above the T-line, is that any more significant than any other good-looking chart? Well, in this case, if they close it above the T-line at 20, the next major resistance level is up here at the 50 and the 200 at the $47 area. That's 100 and some odd percent return. And the reason they could do that is when they sold this off, they started from the $65 area and took it down to the $19 area. That usually means there's a lot of people up there that would like to buy it back. That's what can really move this. Not only move it in the right direction, but move it in the right direction with a big, big magnitude move of price. Yeah, wedge is where you can kind of see everything funneling together. I'll see if I can find one again here that's more clearly illustrated. There's that scoop pattern. There's the flat trading area. Now your little morning star signal, double bottom, right on the T-line makes this very simple. If they open this positive, there's a good possibility they can slingshot this all the way back up to the 50. Was that one IMPV? Whoops. IMPV. Oh, okay. And what did I just do? ICPT. Oh, that's a scoop pattern. And another one, PETX. There's kind of that scoop pattern also with a gap up doji. Makes this very simple. If this opens positive, you can be buying immediately because you'll be in a scoop pattern setup that could possibly have a slingshot effect, especially right back up here to the moving averages. Okay, I think that's about all I got. There was just tons of charts, obviously, showing Morningstar type signals. There's a ton of them. I just tried to pick a few that were good-looking charts. And there were just tons of them. TBR is one that we're still in. There's the fry pan bottom J-hook. There's the next little J-hook. TQNT. There's that fry pan bottom with the breakout right here. And then another little Morningstar type signal. This tells you just kind of stay long until you see a sell signal. We're also holding on to some RFMD. There's the fry pan bottom. There's the breakout. Just stay long until you see a sell signal. And what other ones? Oh, one that caused a little bit of a concern here is EXH. Had a nice kicker signal then has failed, but notice where it's failed back to, right here on the 50-day moving average. And I say that with something that notice where they closed it, right on the 50-day moving average. That tells me if they open this positive tomorrow, you want to be a buyer because they're not going to let it go below the 50. That means they're going to run it back up to the top of this trend channel or give you a real quick 10%. And if they break this out, then they're more than likely going to the top of the trading channel, which brings you back up into this area. Okay, and I'm just trying to think of what other. Oh, Apple. There's that little Morningstar type signal right here at the T line. This tells us if they start buying this tomorrow, you want to be a buyer. The first target is back to the top of this little trend channel, which means there would be a couple days of upside. Okay, I'll take the individual ones here pretty soon, but some of these are the ones that we already own. AMPE, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal. AMKR, we've been in this one for a while, ever since it broke through this level with a kicker signal. You just stay long. And ANIX, good looking chart, except it did a little bit of consolidation today, but there's your fry pan bottom. You continue to stay long on this one as long as it stays above the T line. And notice they couldn't even close this below the 3T line. So that tells you they're still on a strong uptrend. And SDR, this one should have been probably closed out on Friday. It should definitely have been closed out today with the left-right combo on Friday. And with it closing back below the T line, as you can see, the force is gone, especially with it closing below the T line. You don't want to hang on to things that are closing below the T line, because when they're below the T line, the prospects of bad things happening are that much greater. Oh, SDR had a huge dividend? That I did not know. But I would suspect right now that they're going to bring back this one to the 50. Then you get ready to buy it. Now, our long-term pick currently is WLL. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow for long-term, just for good timing entry. Let me make this a little bit bigger. The long-term pick area is on the website. If you go to the members area, you'll see long-term investment program. We've got the information on WLL. We're probably going to be adding J.C. Penney as soon as I can get all the information accumulated into one spot. Notice what J.C. Penney did today. Closed right on the 200. If it breaks out through here, it's breaking out through this level as well as the 200, which also means this downtrend that has been in progress for a hefty amount of time, if they can bring it back up above the 200, coming out of this type of little pattern, that means we're now probably in an uptrend. So this one you could this one you could be putting away. If you're buying it around 9, it could be a $15, $16 stock over the next 12 months, a good rate of return. And we will also be recommending, based on the charts, some of these REITs or things that you want to hold long term. For example, we were buying MITT today. They've got a 13.6% dividend yield, and they've got a chart pattern that tells us they've got another wave potential. So if we can buy things for the longer term, meaning, again, my longer term is anywhere around 3 months or greater, actually about 10 weeks or greater. But if this is going into wave 3, it's paying 13.6% dividend yield and has the potential of adding on another 20%. over the next 3 months, that's going to be a good rate of return. Things like Nally also pays, I think, 14.5%, but as you can see, it's been a nice, slow, steady uptrend. So these type of things we don't mind recommending, not so much for trading it, but just having it in a long-term account where the 14.5% dividend yield and a 20% return over the next 6 months gives you a good overall return. Yes, there was one on here, MITT, AG Mortgage Investment Trust. And things like AGNC, another one is coming out of a fry pan bottom. I think they pay closer to 19%. They did at one time, maybe at lower prices, but they pay a good dividend yield. So, anyways, well, we're going to have an area. We're going to have 3 areas. Before it was 2. Now I'm adding another area. One, things like WLL, which is right there in the Balkan Basin up there in North Carolina. To get the 14% dividend yield, you must hold. Oh, yeah, that's what it's paying on an annual basis is 14%. But you don't have to hold it for a year to get that. Yeah, North Dakota. What did I say? With them being in the Balkan Basin up there, right in the middle of it, a well-run company, this is one that could probably easily be over 100 over the next 6 to 12 months. And then others are going to be things that might be coming up with a new product that's just breaking out. So the 3 categories are long-term holds, that kind of the big stable ones that are in the right place at the right time, or have changed their management style or marketing, like J.C. Penney, or a good dividend yield type company. That'd be the second category. And then the third category is a company that might be a new little small one that has a product that could be changing an industry or putting them way out in front of everybody else. So, anyways, and that's all the long-term yield or the long-term investment area is free to everybody in the membership area. It's also going to be added as a a separate product for people that don't have time to sit and watch charts very much, that they just need long-term picks. Okay, so with that, is there any questions on candlesticks? All right, if not, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. All right, and Jim, in 3.8 seconds, do the second double line. All right. NDX. Let's make this big enough where we can see. NDX is a good-looking chart, but that's the one you want, the NASDAQ index. Yeah, the NASDAQ, with this gap up today, breaking this downward trend channel, expect some more upside. Is this Kroger? Well, Kroger, you just stay long. Ever since the Morningstar signal down here, just been a nice, steady uptrend. The only, well, I'd say the decent rate of return for a hold. Micron, another one where you just stay long. How come the charts keep getting smaller and smaller? Just stay long until you see a sell signal. BWEN. Nothing that I'd get wildly excited about, but as long as it stays above the T line, you stay with it. And Moby, you can be buying this one on positive trading with your anticipation the first target is going to be a bounce back up to the 50, and then see what it does from there. Neo, you can be buying. There's a kicker signal. You just have to be very cautious of what happens once it gets back up to the 50, which is where the resistance, this downtrending resistance level is. So that's where you want to watch to see if it can break through that level. Disney, you stay long. There's a fry pan bottom, taking you up higher. The Russell 2000, same as the NASDAQ, should be a quick bounce at least up to the 50-day moving average. BWT came back up above the T-line, which it needed to do. This one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading. You still have the prospect of this coming up to the 200-day moving average. You can be buying this, but I'd rather be buying it on the next bullish big candle. I'd rather pay after it's moved than waiting for it to move big. IGT, little Morningstar type signal. Yeah, this one you can be buying. Just use the T-line as your stop. And fuel. Nothing there yet, except you do have a gap down in the oversold condition. This one you can be buying on the basis that it could likely pop right back up to the 50-day. I'm sorry, up to the T-line, which in this case would be going from let's say the 2170 level back up here. That'd be at least a 12-15% move for a bounce. Barnes & Noble. Oh. Well, Shazam. S.BKS. Another one that you can buy on a positive open with the doji sandwich setup after the Morningstar signal and scoop pattern. There's a gap to fill right here, which gets you close enough to the 50. That's probably where your first target is. Then there's another gap from the kicker signal up here. This one you can be buying as long as it stays above the T line. QLogic. Well, what's happening here? QLogic, I wouldn't be buying this one yet until it does get back up above the 50. I'm sorry, above the T line. CMFN. Nothing here. If you're short, you stay short until you see a buy signal, and what's that? And a close above the T line. Otherwise, there's really nothing there just yet. LSCC, this one you can be buying with the anticipation they're going to be bringing it back up to the top of this trend channel, giving you about a 10% move just to get to that level. Tesla. Nothing there yet. They're trying to base it here on the 200, but nothing to show there's any buyers coming back in. At this point, I wouldn't be long or short. And let's see. We did ANIK. Nothing wrong here. Just stay long as it stays above the T line. IT. That's a nice morning star signal. This one you can buy. Just be aware of the magnitude of return. To go from here to here, you're only at about 6%. And what else we got? Tesla, MTRX. Kicker signal. You definitely want to buy this on positive trading. There'd be your doji sandwich after the kicker signal, breaking out through this downtrending channel, meaning you're going to go higher. And MNTX, there's your big belt hold. This one you can buy on positive trading tomorrow because essentially they've wiped out all the sellers. And if they start breaking it up to this level, you're going to have another strong price move. WLK, stay long. Looks like a J-hook pattern setup. Union Pacific, all you can do here is stay long as it stays above the T line. Sunoco, whoops, that's sugar. This is Sunoco. I'm sorry, Suncor Energy. Another one that if you got closed out Friday, you can buy this back on positive trading tomorrow. Telling you the uptrend's still in progress. DGAZ, there's a big fry pan bottom in the making. This one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading tomorrow. XLU. This one looks like you should stay short until you see a buy signal. Moby we did. NQ. Another doji sandwich setup. This one you buy on positive trading tomorrow. Even on a day trade, you might get a good move on it. Same as on Friday. HOLX, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal. You're in the overbought area with a gap up doji. Put your stop one tick below today's low. It shouldn't come back through that level. If it does, they're taking it back down to the T line. TSN, this one you can buy if it comes up through the T line tomorrow. It has to get through the T line, though, and stay there. Amazon might be bottoming out here. Another one that you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow, and it shouldn't come back down through the T line at all. CMG. This one you can be buying on strength. There's a slow curve, making the 50-day moving average your next probable target. And PFG, whoops, S.PFG. There you are with a doji, hammer, gap up. Use the 50 as support. Closed right here. Very simple. If it opens positive, you want to be buying immediately because it tells us that this resistance level is not acting as resistance anymore. And that force is coming out of that slow curve pattern. What was that? PFG. STX. This one you get ready to buy. Not quite there yet. It needs to get back up above the 50. I'm sorry, get back up above the T line. Yum. This one you can be buying, except notice the lack of magnitude of return. This one hasn't moved 3% for 2 months from this level. I'd be trading something else. GDX. Gold is still in a slow, steady downtrend. I wouldn't be long gold right now. Wouldn't be short gold right now, but it wouldn't be long gold right now. ISR trying to come up. It had an opportunity to do a kicker type signal today, but failed. If I was going to buy this, I'd pay $2.80 for it, knowing that it broke out through the upside. And GTAT. Stay short until you see a buy signal. At this point, if I was short, I'd probably be using today's high as my stop. If it comes up through there, that tells me they're at least bouncing back up to the T line. What did I just do? LIOX, that one you can buy. There's your kicker signal off the 200, breaking this downward trend channel. Buy on strength tomorrow. JCOM, another kicker type signal. This one you can be buying on positive trading. Just make sure it gets through this downtrending channel. Oh, Raul, I have a hard time. I don't know the symbols for the Forex over here on this service. Only because I don't trade Forex. I'd rather just trade the currencies outright. Much easier, just as profitable, much easier to control the trades. BDSI, get ready to buy this on positive trading also. And Vail. Vail is a nice gap up. This one you want to be buying. Telling you they're going to probably take it right back up to the 200-day moving average at least. Is this Allegheny Technologies? Atlantic Power, all right. This one I wouldn't be, well, if you're long, you stay long. Obviously not exciting, but it's in a nice, slow, steady uptrend. This wouldn't worry me too much today. Just stay long until you just don't want to see a very, very strong sell signal. FCX, Doji gap up, stay long as it stays above the T-line. More than likely, you're going to be in a 45-degree off of here. HZNP. Uh-oh, that did not work. HZNP. I wouldn't be long or short this one. It doesn't know which way it wants to go. Arna, this one, to stay long, has to open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, they're taking it back down to the 50, which means this downtrending channel is still in effect. And AMBA, let's see what we can do here. AMBA. This one you want to buy on positive trading tomorrow on the Morningstar signal, breaking through the T-line. And Rig, I wouldn't be long or short. This one's having a hard time showing which way it wants to go, and it's relatively flat. There's better places to have your money. That's the diamonds. Broke out just like the Dow. All right, thank you, Steve. I'd like to see some of my positions in there. After hours trading up big. Let's see. Zoo, you stay short until you see a buy signal. And Goo. This one, trying to do a J-hook pattern. If you're buying this one tomorrow, use the T-line as your stop. It shouldn't close back below that level. Let's see. We did NQ, right? NQ, you buy in positive trading. NDX is at the NASDAQ 100. Okay. Same scenario. It's gapped up through the 50 and kind of broken this downward trend channel. Look for more upside. Let's see. What was this question from Barb? I didn't see the question. Let's see. Noah. Well. That ain't a fine howdy do. Do the candles still work for DGAZ when it is a 3 times inverse of natural gas? It's still a trading entity that has investor sentiment in it. It doesn't matter what the what the trading entity is. NOAA, Morningstar type signal. This one you can buy on positive trading. Just make sure it gets through the 50 very quickly. AT&T, you can be buying this one. Just also be aware of the lack of magnitude of return on this one. Verizon, same scenario. You can, as long as it stays above the T line, you want to stay long. Now that it's broken out through the 200, notice what it did. Hit the 200, failed. Hit the 200, failed. Now when it goes through, what they do is they'll come back and test the 200 to see if it's going to act as support. If it does, you've got a lot more upside. Okay, Northeast Ohio. It's up north of me. Oops. S.G.G.A.Z. Yes, it doesn't matter what the trading entity is because it's all built on investor sentiment. Let's see, SDR gapped up 12 cents. Yeah, we've got to see if you're long, it has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. Speaking of the devil, here's some little rumbling up there right now. OXBT wouldn't be doing anything much with this one just yet. Looks like it's in a fry pan bottom slow curve. It needs something substantial to tell you this downward trend channel has been breached. Netflix, still not anything I'd get real wildly excited about. If it does open positive, if you're trading it, you want to be positive or be long. Just see what it does once it gets to the 50. Huntington, stay long as long as it stays above the T line. Google finally is breaking this downward trend channel. If this opens positive, expect the 50-day moving average, and if it trades positive, that means that the whole market is building up confidence again. Goldman Sachs, same scenario. Nothing that I would trade, but it's a good indicator to tell you what investor sentiment is in the market. And BTU, another one that can be bought as soon as you see the profit taking over, tells you that J-hook pattern is in progress. Can you enter it now? No, I'd wait to see a green candle starting to set up. And GSAT, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal. Heiken Ashi are kind of a vanilla down charting. Mark, if you use the T-line, I helped write some of the formulas for Heiken Ashi years. Oh, I can't even remember how many years ago now. But it's vanilla. It's what do I say? It's using the averages of the chart patterns, so or the signals. So it's kind of a lagging indicator. If you use the candlestick signals and the T-line, you're going to be way, way ahead. So far, that's the most effective that I've found as far as keeping a correct trend. CELG, this one you want to be buying. Just be aware of what it does once it gets to the 50. And ANR, another one that you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. Just make sure it breaks through this downward trend channel. And AER, you can get ready to buy this one on a J-hook type pattern. Oh, man. Oh, Shaw. Walgreens, you can stay long on this one. look for a breakout, but just be aware of the lack of magnitude on this one. AER, get ready to buy this. There's your fry pan bottom. There's your little J hook. This one still has a lot of upside potential. LOCK. Wouldn't do anything yet until this closes above the T line. FTEK. This one you can be buying. That's a good fry pan bottom set or a J hook pattern setup. And fuel cell or rocket fuel, wouldn't be buying it yet until I see a confirmed buy signal. But they did gap it down in the oversold area. That's when you start looking for a buy signal. I love you too, Steve. Up that symbol. This one you buy on positive trading. There's your little scoop type pattern. There's your profit taking. If they open up positive, the profit taking's over. The scoop pattern's still in effect. And one more, ACAD. This one you can be buying. Just be aware of what it does once it gets to the T line. I'm sorry, to the 50. Some platforms have solid and hollow candles. It all depends on what each one sets up. Yeah, I can change the colors on this one to make the greens white and make the red ones black. So it's each platform you can formulate your own signals. I originally started with the white candles bullish, either a very dark blue or a black to tell me the bearish candles. Okay, let's call it a night. I think we're still got the potential with this breakout, and stochastic's not in the overbought area yet, that we could have a couple more good days to the upside. So with that, we'll see everybody in the chat rooms. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning.